Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Bitcoin again, of course, see kind of what's going on here today and see if there's any changes from yesterday. Obviously, we can see the changes. We'll go ahead and evaluate that and see what's going on. And also, apologize in advance if you hear any noise in the background. I am having some roof work done still today. It should be last day. We'll be all set and good to go. So just heads up, you hear some smashing and clashing in the background. That is not purposeful, and I apologize in advance. Also, not new, or I'm not new to the industry, of course. I've been trading for a very long time. I hope that if you are new, you can learn a thing or two here today. I have a trading academy that I am rolling out with next month, and currently a community. If you're interested in becoming a member, consider joining below. Link in the description there, of course. Now, for the moment, why don't we go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin and kind of work our way down. Let's go with a 1 week chart. Kind of start with the obvious, right? So we've got a nice green candle here so far on the weekly. Week isn't over yet, so try not to get too ahead of ourselves, but it's definitely looking nice in the sense that we're slowly progressing upwards to potentially break through this descending wedge pattern, which are inevitable to break to the upside eventually, right? We can only hold it down for so long, but we got to understand a few other key factors. But first of all, bottom line here is that we are breaking free of this pattern here on the RSI. So if you kind of see this here as well, the price is kind of breaking free. Now, that is by no stretch of the imagination official yet. But just know that on the 1 day chart, we are kind of breaking free of that RSI pattern, so to speak. So that could effectively work as a support level. Some good things there, but the key takeaway here is if you look at the RSI, it's trying to increase, right? It's no longer on the downswing. That's a positive thing, especially on the weekly. But once again, this weekly candlestick hasn't closed yet, so it's pretty much just speculation at this point. The same concept as looking at the 4 hour chart and then not waiting for the 1 day candlestick to close. All right, so we're not there yet, but there is some positive sentiment here. But generally speaking, the 1 week isn't going to tell us a tremendous amount right now. The daily will tell us a lot more. And let's go ahead and take a look at that here. How much closer are we to the 50-day SMA? It's still a ways away. It's right up there around 44.5. So we don't need to, concern ourselves with that. But what I'm getting at is that the 50-day SMA, I think, is going to be a big step in the right direction and get back above that. That will really help us understand we're truly bullish in this regard. But until we break this trend line here, I don't think we're going to be considered to be bullish. We are still, essentially making lower highs and lower lows in the big picture. All right, and just because we have a nice 4th day of green candles doesn't necessarily mean we need to get super excited. Okay, so not trying to kill your buzz. Feel free to be happy about the fact that other coins are up 5 to 10, 20% in some cases, but also be realistic in the fact that we hit that shelf, we hit that 40,500, and the price comes back down. I hate to say I told you so, right? It could very well be one of those situations. We're not there yet. So I like to wait for confirmation before I take any type of significant long-term potential entries. Right now we are doing some smaller type of trades, so to speak. We took some profit on eGold recently, and there's a handful of others that got my eyes on. But I just want to make sure that we kind of get some of this news out of the way too, because I know there's like a speech today as well as just a lot of stuff on the horizon for the inflation, and we need to understand that that could impact us adversely. But it might also be the situation here where the rumor, so to speak, is that we have the inflation that's going to occur in the next few months, and the price may be increasing as a result of that, and it might actually sell off as soon as the news happens. So be prepared for that, be ready. Those things do happen a lot, unfortunately. So just something to be mindful of. But here's the bottom line, just straight to the TA. We're back up over 30 on the RSI. That's extremely important. Again, this 1 day candlestick has not closed yet. I would say we're going to know a lot more near the end of this trading day. But for the bottom, kind of the ways in which we can see there was a strong resistance at right at about 37,000. Now we're up decently, about $1,200 above that. That's a nice little increase, and just note that that's kind of causing the RSI to come back up. So traditionally speaking, again, RSI under 30 or close to 30, usually a buy signal, but I would urge caution and be careful not to put all your eggs in one basket just yet, because we don't truly have confirmation that we're in the clear, right? And again, confirmation is probably going to come closer to 40,500 or even just say 46,000, which I know seems like it's way far away, but we could get there pretty quick considering how Bitcoin moves. But between now and then, just carefully dollar cost average and try not to just think that we're totally 100% down in the bottoms in. But good things are coming here, of course. We got the MACD convergence that's soon to occur, so that could continue to push the price action higher. I'm just a little concerned right now, just generally, that we haven't seen the bottom officially, or that we're going to see some strong resistance soon. All right, so we're kind of in this little free zone here. I don't think there's a tremendous amount of volume in between 37,000 and 40,500, as we can see, very little. only the amount of volume accumulation from the recent increase. So for lack of better terms, we don't really need to get too excited about this just yet, because as we can see, there's a big gap right here. And it's it could very well cause the price just to turn right back around because there's not a lot of volume. All right, but again, strong volume shelf here, right here, limit, right between 40,500 and 42,000. Okay, so just know that when we get to that point, it might be a decent amount of resistance once we get there. Looking at the 4-hour though, let's go ahead and see if there's anything else. I mean, you can see nice continuation. This ascending wedge pattern did effectively break to the upside. So that did come to fruition as expected. So I'm not surprised to see the price where it's at right now. I just don't want you to get super, fearless and act like we're totally all good now all of a sudden, right? Just be cautiously optimistic. It's okay to be realistic with the situation and the fact that, yes, it does look good. The midterm looks good. Even the macro is looking pretty decent. But that one-way candlestick hasn't closed yet. And of course, today's one-day candle hasn't either. So just be mindful, we could experience something very similar to this here in the near future. I'm not saying that's going to happen per se. We might actually be able to, continue to ride this wave for a couple more days. There's a chance of that. I just have a feeling that we're going to see another dead cat when we hit a resistance level here. So we just got to be mindful of how, we approach our trades closer to 40,500. So again, all good stuff here. RSI is over 50. That's fantastic. We're still under 70. MACD obviously converged here previously, roughly 3 days ago, and we've been converging ever since. So just note that we are getting to this, I wouldn't say exhaustive state by any stretch of the imagination, but we're at a 7. And that basically tells us that we've had 7 4-hour candlesticks worth of bullish momentum, right? So for lack of better terms, we've had a full trading day, a little over a full trading day's worth of bullish sentiment. And basically just implies that there hasn't been a significant correction in that time frame. So just bear in mind, within the next 8 hours, we could see either a reversal or a consolidation closer to about 38,000. It seems like it wants to consolidate closer to 38 before the next leg up. But once again, a lot of this is contingent on the news, which hasn't happened officially yet. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there. Very last thing I want to kind of cover here is a 1-hour chart, just to touch on the Ichimoku cloud and the fact that we are still all green lights. Go ahead. If you have an open long position right now for Bitcoin, I would just recommend, adjusting your stop loss as you continue to hit your profit targets. So for example, if you're at 38.3, maybe adjust your stop loss to 37 or 37.5 as the price continues to increase. In case there's another correction, you can at least take some profits, right? But the cloud is effectively telling us we have all green lights here. All 3 indicators are really just letting us know that we can keep our long position open if we have one. All right, so I'd say continue to let it ride for the moment until we see a correction, which could occur. And then taking a look here at the TD sequential, we just got a reset. We got it to a 6 and 6 previously. So a lot of this, I see a lot of 6s here, where the price comes up to a 6, resets, and then hits another 6. So for lack of better terms, we're at a 1 right now, or 2 rather. We could see 4 more hours of bullish continuation before the next correction. That's really hard to say. That's more so speculation. I wouldn't put a lot of weight into that. But the good news is here, there's been decent amounts of consolidation in between each one of these legs up, and it's a nice, healthy continuation. So this is the staircase pattern I like to talk about, where the price is kind of coming up and over, and we should expect to, see it continue to increase. I would say 40,500 is very realistic at this point, based on the current trajectory, pending no ridiculous knee-jerk reaction today from the news or the result of, a conversation that some some type of politician is going to give us here today, right? Those things matter and those things have an influence. So just pay attention. If we can get through this, just say we get the 1-day candlestick to close today above 38,000 and there's no major sell-off closer to the end of our trading day here today, then I would say, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, again, Pacific Standard Time, maybe it might be more like 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern. If we have the price still in the range that it's at right now, that would probably be a good signal or a good indication of the fact that Bitcoin isn't going to drop its bottom as we've expected based on the recent news here, and that we could expect to see the price continue upwards to, once again, the major resistance of 40,500. So the thing I want you to take away here is that depending on how the 1-day candlestick closes today, essentially, will help us understand a lot. So if we can get a close above 38,000, I think we'll be in really good shape. Because obviously we're not looking for or hoping to not have a significant correction at the end of this trading day. If that were to occur, then obviously we'll have to reevaluate and understand what's going to happen. Keep in mind, we're going to have to rely on some key level supports, which is roughly about 33,000 and of course 29,000 if the price were to continue downwards. So let's just say best case scenario, the price does close above 37.5 today. Then we're going to be in a position where we should be able to take a long position to 40,500 to effectively be able to, see where the price responds from there. But I think the likelihood of the price going to 40,500 is higher than it is to come down, pending we don't have a major correction at the end of today. So again, we don't see any correction at the end of our trading day here today. Once again, I think it's right around 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's when the traditional trading day closes. Yes, there's post-market hours for a few hours, but for the most part, as soon as the market closes, we should have a better understanding of where we're at. But I'd much rather wait for the one-day candlestick to close, which is 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That pretty much ensures that the entire trading day is over and closed. And at that point, we can consider a long position to the upside, because then I would say the worst would be behind us tentatively. Okay, now I don't mean absolute worst. Absolute worst is 29,000 or lower. I'm talking about just the immediate future here. This week, for example, taking it day by day, the worst would be behind us for today. Doesn't mean we couldn't just open up tomorrow morning, the market opens and we go completely down, right? There's a lot of possibilities, of course, here, but I would just recommend waiting for the one-day candlestick to close. If we can close above 38,000 right in that range, close to where the price action is at here, we get consolidation right around 37.5. Then I would be heavily considering a long position to the upside. And when I say long, I don't mean holding on for days. I just mean position where you buy low, sell high, and we'd have a profit target 38, 39, 40,000, right in that range. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but that's effectively what my game plan is here moving forward, depending on obviously what happens here today. Okay, so pending nothing stupid happens today, then we should be in good shape to see a continuation of the upside. But don't be surprised we have a brief amount of consolidation, because we are a bit on the overextended side on the 4-hour. So it'd be nice to get the next 8 hours of trading to just go straight sideways, and then we can take that next leg up and buy the dip as soon as it bounces off of the key level support at 37.5. That's what we're looking at here. I hope you found benefit, of course. Hope you learned something here today. If you do, great. If not, that's okay too. We'll look forward to seeing the next video. If you're not currently a member, consider subscribing. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.